We raised money in August, just $2 million Canadian dollars, and of course we work in US dollars, but that will last us. We're well funded till later of next year, and we have a lot of rapid growth we're working on the ground that will, do measurable things for the company going forward.
Welcome to the Assay TV. I'm very pleased to be joined here today by Kimberly Ann, founder, CEO, president and director of Lahontan Gold. Thank you so much for joining us, Kimberly.
Thanks for having me.
Great. So perhaps to get us started, you could give us just a quick overview of Lahontan and your projects.
Yeah, Lahontan Gold Corp, we have assets in the Walker Land of Nevada, fantastic jurisdiction to be in. Santa Fe is our flagship asset. We have 1.7 million ounces of gold and silver there. It's a past producer. Our goal right now is to fast track it back into production in a very short, rapid timeline. We are working on our plan of operations so we can do that by making a production decision this time next year. So rapid growth for a company that only went public in 2022 of April. So we're moving quite quickly.
Great, sounds exciting. And just to take a step back and have a look at the markets. It's obviously been a tough year for junior explorer developers in the mining sector. Do you think we're seeing the bottom of the equities market at the moment?
Well, that's always the question that we ask ourselves. I do think we're pretty low, and I think any investor that's looking at any junior space companies, they should, do their checklist of what their risk, appetite is, picking good jurisdictions, companies that know how to position themselves with, a smaller amount of money versus, always having to raise money. It is a tough market for that concept. But for us, we really focus on having a smart business plan and sticking to it. And when we need to raise funds, it has to be with a direction of what we're going to do with it. So, for example, we raised money in August, just $2 million Canadian dollars. And of course, we work in US dollars, but that will last us. We're well funded till later of next year. And we have a lot of rapid growth we're working on the ground that will, do measurable things for the company going forward.
Great, thanks. So you obviously mentioned jurisdiction and your location in Nevada. So what, how is it operating in that jurisdiction, and what kind of differentiates you from the other projects?
So many things differentiates us from our neighbors in particular. Because we're a mine under closure, we still do quarterly monitoring on air quality, water quality. We've been doing that on this asset for plus 30 years. So we're in good standings with the BLM, which also helps us fast track the project back into production. We have several areas of our land package that's on patented land, so we can work with our drill program under a notice of intent, which is when you're only disturbing 5 acres. So we've been able to drill 20,000 meters of drilling within that concept. But that being said, because we do all these environmental studies, it helps us when we're doing our plan of operations. There's less we have to do because we're already doing those things. We have infrastructure galore. We have a substation on our property, 3 wells. We test the water quarterly, so we know what that looks like with all the water rights. Our neighbor next door, they are a mine in production called 402 Gold. They got their permit from greenfield to going in production in 22 months, which is really unheard of. It's just Nevada is a great place to work and be, and you don't have First Nations, you don't have communities, so you not only do you not have to deal with that, but you also take that expense off your plate. So, we're really fortunate to have such a great, strong jurisdiction, and we have great grade. We're 1.12 gold EQ, 1 gram rock in the Walker Land, Nevada is high grade, and it's heap leachable oxide, so it's good stuff.
Great, sounds good. And you've already mentioned you've got some big plans for the next year. What can you share with us? What are the key milestones upcoming for you, and what should we look out for?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So our plan of operations, we started last April. That's a time-consuming and expensive proposition for a junior mining company to do. You have to have spring, fall, winter, and then another spring session of monitoring raptors and all the cultural, everything that you need to basically sterilize your whole land package. But what that does for us really will shift gears for our company this time next year. We'll be talking about our PEA coming out middle of next year. with the economics wrapped around it, what's the capex, what's the production profile. So at the same time that we'll have this permit close to being in our hands, we'll be making not only a production decision, but we'll be looking for the dollars to build it ourselves. So it's a really exciting time to be a part of the story. I do think if any of the investors here are looking for juniors to look at, we're definitely undervalued like everyone else is. And weeding through all that, you need to find assets that have quality management, of course, that know how to execute from past history. You need good grade, good jurisdiction, et cetera, et cetera. So we do have all that. We're very fortunate.
Great. Well, it sounds like there's lots to keep an eye out for, and we look forward to catching up with you again in a few months.
Thanks for having me.